Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We invite you to follow the English News Bulletin on the Central Television channel of North Province. Following the damage caused by Typhoon number 3, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired conference to assess the response efforts, review the extent of the damage, and implement urgent measures to mitigate the aftermath of Typhoon number 3. The conference was held online, connecting the government headquarters with 26 localities from Thanh Hóa to northern regions. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính emphasized that Typhoon number 3 had ravaged the mainland for more than a day, causing severe consequences. The storm circulation will continue to bring heavy rains and floods, particularly to the northern mountainous provinces. This conference aims to evaluate the situation, forecasting efforts, public communication and awareness, information dissemination to the public, implementation of the 4 on-spot measures, and response efforts at both central and local levels. We also assess damage, analyze and share lessons learned, propose short-term solutions to recover from the aftermath as quickly as possible, and discuss long-term and strategic measures. The Prime Minister urged an immediate review and support for the affected localities and families who have lost loved ones. Efforts to overcome the storm consequences should be continued immediately, and timely solutions must be provided to address issues related to people's livelihoods, production, business, and dealing with landslide and subsidence. In response, the Prime Minister has shown particular concern and has issued 3 urgent directives in succession, instructing ministry, agencies, and local authorities to swiftly and thoroughly implement measures to respond to the typhoon. The forces and localities have strictly followed 3 directives from the Prime Minister, completing an enormous amount of work before the typhoon made landfall. Specifically, they have counted and guided more than 51,300 fishing boats with nearly 220,000 people to safe shelters, organized the evacuation of nearly 33,000 people from fish farms, aquaculture watchtowers, and weak houses to safe places. Over 438,000 people and more than 6,600 vehicles of various kinds were mobilized to respond to the typhoon, with forces assigned to stand guard at critical positions. According to aggregate data from Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in the first 8 months of the year, exports of most agricultural product categories have increased. For the first time, the total export turnover of agriculture, forestry, and fishery products reached 40 billion 8 million US dollar, while imports stood at 28 billion US dollar. The trade surplus in agricultural sectors were 11 billion 8 million US dollar, an increase of 68.4%. The United States, China, and Japan continue to be the 3 largest export markets. Export to the United States accounted for 21.4% of the total, an increase of 23.5%. China accounted for 20.4%, up 10.2%, and Japan accounted for 6.7%, up 4.6%. Besides the major markets like China, the United States, Japan, and the EU, the agricultural sector is also actively working with businesses to open new high-potential markets such as Halal Muslim countries, the Middle East, and Africa. Since the beginning of the year, textiles and garments have been a key export group for Vietnam, with export turnover showing a strong recovery. This growth is particularly evident in major markets such as the United States, the EU, and Japan. The main reason for this are the significant shift of orders from other countries to Vietnam and the proactive efforts of Vietnamese textile and garment enterprises to diversify their markets and customer base. According to Vietnam Textile and Apparel Association, order volumes in the Vietnamese market were relatively good in the 3rd and 4th quarters of this year, with some companies experiencing growth of over 20%. Vietnamese businesses have sold large quantities of goods to global suppliers, and the design and quality of textile products have been continuously updated to meet customer demands. In the first 7 months of the year, Vietnam textile and garment industry exported 25.2 billion US dollar, an increase of nearly 6% compared to the same period in 2023. In the province alone, export turnover reached nearly $1 billion, up around 3% from the same period last year. The Vietnam Textile and Apparel Association forecasts that the country's textile and garment export will continue to recover well in the coming months, as Vietnamese companies have proactively managed their strategic pillars. Based on export results achieved in the first 7 months of 2024, the association expects to reach the target of $44 billion in export for the year 2024, as current orders are very stable and are trending upwards. On September 8th, Ukraine and Russia accused each other of overnight airstrikes in their border regions. The military administration of Ukraine's northeastern region posted on Telegram that a Russian attack on Sumy had killed 2 people and injured 4 others, including 2 children. Several houses and cars were damaged. On the other side of the border, Vyacheslav Gladkov, the governor of Russia's southwestern Belgorod region, wrote on Telegram that the civilians, including 2 children, were injured in Ukrainian airstrike. According to Gladkov, 17 residential buildings were affected by the attack. The Russian Ministry of Defense also announced on Telegram on September 8th that it had destroyed 2 drones launched by Ukraine into Belgorod overnight on September 7th and 8th. Sumy and Belgorod have been frequently attacked in recent times. Both sides deny targeting civilians, stating that attacks are aimed at destroying each other's critical infrastructure. On September 8th, France sent a foreign newspaper report that French authorities had sent a letter to the European Commission (EC) requesting an extension for submitting a plan to reduce its public deficit to align with Paris 2025 target project. Citing information from the French Ministry of Finance, the newspaper stated that, in a letter sent to lawmakers earlier this month, the ministry wrote that France could face an unexpectedly high purchase deficit this year and next if no additional savings are found. According to the newspaper, the Ministry of Finance has requested an extension for submitting the plan, but does not specify how long Paris wants the extension to be. According to EC regulations, the deadline for member states to submit their public deficit reduction plans is September 20th, which can be extended to October 15th. The deteriorating financial situation has forced Paris to engage in the EU disciplinary procedures and post challenges for a new Prime Minister, Michel Barnier, in preparing the draft budget, which is expected to be unveiled on October 1st. Dear viewers, you have just watched the English news on the Central Television channel of my province. Goodbye and see you again.